What's going on, everybody? Josh here. I am joshuarussell.com. It's Monday night again. Hope you guys had a good week. I hope everything went awesome. I hope you had a great weekend. And I hope this first part of 2019 is treating you well. We're going to get into something fun tonight. I'm going to give it a little bit of time, let some people get into the room, and we're going to get into something fun. Like I said, what we're going to do tonight is I'm going to show you how I took the photo that I used on Instagram. Actually, I think I put it on my Facebook page. Created a toy car, made it into a scene to make it look real. I know these stormtrooper videos with the fireworks has been going around a lot, and a lot of people are really getting into this, so I figured I'd show you how I do my toy car photos. I did put one not too long ago of the Ghostbuster Ecto 1, and it got quite a bit of attention on Instagram, so I figured I would show you guys how I did these. That way you can try yourself and see if it's something you like and get into. I don't ever sell these or like book any of this. This is purely just for fun and to kind of keep my skills on top. Like I said, I'm going to give it a few minutes. If you are new to this page, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, the bell notification, and you can do it by just clicking this right here down in the corner. That is the subscribe button. All you gotta do is click on it and it will open up and you can subscribe. I do these live streams every Monday night, and then the video will actually stay online and you can watch them. I know I've been getting quite a bit of views on my stuff from last week, the week before. So I keep these online, but I really like it when you guys come in on Monday night with me. It's usually at 7 p.m. Central. Tonight I had a meeting with a wedding couple, so I had to push it back until 7:30. Wedding couple meeting went fantastic, so I'm in a good mood. And so tonight we're just gonna have some fun, and I'm gonna show you guys how I make my toy car photography and just kind of how we get into it. So before we do that though, I want to know what's going on in your neck of the woods. What's going on around you? I know we got Josh here. Josh is my moderator, or he kind of helps out. He runs JDM Photography, I think it's called. I know he just picked up the Sony A7 III and a whole bunch of other goodies, so welcome to the world of Sony, Josh. I know you already had a Sony, but welcome to the world of full-frame epicness. I really think you're going to like it. Let me know what's going on. Drop a comment down below and let me know what's going on with you, where have you been, what you're doing as far as your photography or your business, or let me know about your family. Tell me whatever you want. Let's just make this a fun, exciting experience every Monday night. And like I said, make sure you subscribe. We're going to give it a few more minutes. I see some people coming in, so that's awesome. I'm going to check my Facebook here one more time and see what's going on. All right. Going to give it about another minute, and then we'll go ahead and start, and I'll show you what we're getting into. While we're waiting though, I can kind of show you the project we're working on here. Let me so this is what we're going to be making tonight. Something similar. I got a little bit different of a background and some other stuff going on, and I'm not going to quite put that much, but this is what we're going to be working on tonight. We're going to be working on taking this photo right here. We're going to take this photo right here and turn it into this photo right here. As you can see, we added some sunlight and some other goodies. We're going to take this drab picture of this toy car, which I actually have the car sitting around here that I could show you guys if I knew where the car was. We're going to take this car right here. This is the car that I used. For those of you that do not know, this is Jesse's car from the Fast and the Furious, the first movie. This is one of my all-time favorite movies and all-time favorite cars. I love Volkswagen Jettas. I think they are amazing. I used to own a Golf a few years ago, and it was awesome. So I had to take this car, and I had to do something fun with it. So what I did is I just took it out, and I put it down on the ground. And shot away, shot some photos. You can see family video in the background back here. You can see all the, you know, just put it on the ground, used an 85 millimeter with a tube extender or a macro extender on it, and shot this photo. That's it. JD Milliker Photography. JDM Raw and JDM 4006 on IG. He does all sorts of awesome artistic stuff. Check him out. All right, let's get into it now. So we're going to jump in and we're going to show you how we edit a photo like this. And it kind of has its own, you know, monster to itself, and it is a little bit different, but you do start out very similar to how I do my portrait photography, and that's by basically cleaning up the photo and getting it ready for Photoshop. So in this tutorial, or in this video, we will be using Lightroom. We'll be using our Nik lens, whatever it's called, Color Effects Pro. And then we'll be using Photoshop. We won't be using Topaz Studio in this one like I did in last week's video. We will be using Color Effects Pro, Lightroom, Photoshop. Color Effects Pro you really don't have to use. I just like to throw all my photos in there to try to bring the detail out a little bit. You could do this without that. So if you want to skip the step with the color effects, you can. But so the first thing we're going to do is start cleaning this photo up in Lightroom. So, and that is as simple as it sounds. We're going to bring the shadows up a little bit here. The photo looks pretty good already. We don't have to do much to it. We're actually going to do more to it at the end when we come back into Lightroom. So if Josh, the macro thing does make a difference because it allowed me to get closer to the toy car. The further away from the toy car you get, the less detail you're going to have in the toy car. So being able to get a little bit closer did help. I shot it at f/18, ISO 100, 85 millimeters, 1/125th of a second outside, no external flashes, just blaring winter Wisconsin sunlight. And that's how we shot that. But I shot it at f/18, that way I could get all of the car in focus. But because you have that tube extender or that macro extender on there, it does still create some type of bokeh in the background because it's shooting macro style instead of just f/18 normal lens. It's kind of hard to explain, but it does make a difference because it still allowed me to catch some bokeh in the background. So, all right, we're going to clean this up a little bit more here. And then also what you want to think about when you're doing this is the photo is going to be snowy. So you don't want to make everything warm and yellow and all of that. You want to kind of keep it cold and a cool color of blue because you want it to look snowy. So I'm not going to bump this up. I bumped it down just a little bit. We can turn the vibrance up a little. Saturation can go up a little bit. Let me see how this looks. And as you can see, this car is not really fully in focus, but that's not going to make that much of a difference because there's going to be so much going on in it that you're not even going to notice that. All right, so I'm going to take it into Color Effects Pro now, Color Effects Pro 4, edit a copy with Lightroom adjustments. If you don't do it without the Lightroom adjustments, if you don't click that, it's going to look like the stock photo right out of the camera, not with what we've just done on it. So you always want to create a new layer, and when you do that, it always make sure you don't destroy what you've already done and no way to go back. So that's why we do it in a non-destructive way. I just let this open here. And I don't know if you noticed or not, but I did buy the Color Effects Pro. I know I talked about it last Monday that my trial subscription was almost up. I went ahead and bought it. It's a great program. I don't use next to anything in it other than Detail Extractor. I should really dive in and check out this program more, but I don't. I know how to use everything else, so I haven't really jumped into this to learn. But Detail Extractor is one of the things that I really like, because as you can see, it really does do a good job bringing in details of a picture. So this is without the Detail Extractor, and then this would be... Yeah, you could do that. That's you. Josh said, could the car be a time to stack to make a wicked sharp? Absolutely. I wasn't trying to do that with this because this, like I said, these are just for fun. It's not something I'm going to sell, so I'm not going to stick a ton of time into this. If this is something you want to get into and actually create a project and create multiple photos with toys and stuff like that, by all means, take your time and do it. But it's just something I do for fun when I have some time. Just so you guys know, Color Effects is a one-time purchase. I don't remember if Topaz or Color Effects. I think Topaz. Color Effects, I think, was $48 for one time, and you get everything that's in it. Topaz Studio is the other program that I've been using a lot, and that's $29 for the clarity, but you have to actually purchase every plugin for that. So the program itself is free, but everything you do in it isn't. So you have to pay for each one. So you can do a 30-day trial of clarity, and then that may run out, and then you can do a 30-day trial of, you know, one of their other color filters or something like that. But they both, when you buy them, it's a one-time purchase fee. It's not cloud-based annual or monthly like Adobe is. So that is something that is good. The Ghostbusters car was mind-blowing, and that one was my first try at it ever. This one is going to be my second. Well, that was my second try. This is technically my third try editing. All right, so let's get back on topic here now. We did edit that, and it is ready to go. We're going to save this. Saving the image. Once again, if you haven't yet, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell notification. That way you're notified when I go live or when I put up videos. It is very much appreciated, and I really like the fact that you guys sit back and watch these videos because that helps me as well. If you guys want to donate and kind of show your love on what I do and show your appreciation, there is a link in the description down below. It is a Streamlabs link, and what you can do is you can donate, I think, $1, $5, $10, $100, whatever you want to donate, and that helps me by keeping me going, letting me try new stuff, and letting me know that you guys love what I'm doing, and it's kind of a way to say thank you. So you just click the link and then you enter it all through PayPal or credit card. I don't remember how it exactly works. But then when you do it, it also kind of pops up on the screen like, this person donated money. And then it's kind of cool. You get to see your name up on there. So if you want to do that, go ahead and do that. I appreciate it. All right, so we're back in Lightroom. We don't really need to do anything in Lightroom. We're going to take this over into Photoshop. Edit with copy with a new Lightroom adjustments. Getting some Facebook messages here. Sorry, I had to take care of that one. All right, so we are in Lightroom or Photoshop. First thing I'm going to do with this photo is I'm going to minimize or reduce the size a little bit, just because this is just for fun. So I'm going to reduce it. It doesn't need to be 3,000 million pixels by 5,000 by 3,600. We're just going to take it down because this is just for fun. So I'm going to take it down to like 2,000. So I mean, as you can see, it's still big, but it's not insane. I suggest not doing that to your photo, but because this is just for teaching purposes, I just wanted to kind of run a little faster. So all right, first thing I'm going to do is create a duplicate layer. That way we have this background layer that doesn't get touched. This one is going to be clean up. So I see a couple spots that I want to try to clean up on this photo. I could do this with frequency separation, but I'm going to do it just like this. One of the spots being this little dot right here. Try to get rid of these leaves back here, or this blade of grass basically is what it is. Everything else I'm going to kind of leave in there. And then we'll go from there. This little spot right here too. So we are going to take the heel brush, 25, hardness 29, spacing 25, that doesn't really matter. And we're just going to click along and get rid of some of these little blemishes. right, so I got rid of the couple blemishes on the car that I wanted to get rid of. Now I need to, is it a blemish or is that, yep, let me get rid of that one. Alright, now I need to get rid of this blade of grass here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can do it in an easy way. If not, I'm going to have to dive in a little bit deeper. So I will fill and then content aware, and let's see if it does it. Let's see if it, nope, just like that, no problem. Adobe is really smart and it does a really good job of trying to fix stuff for you, so that is awesome. All right, the next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to kind of dodge and burn this a little bit. So we're going to create a new layer here, or a duplicate layer. So Control or Command J brings up a layer. We're going to go dodge. I did it again. Why does nobody stop me from doing that? We are not going to duplicate this layer. We're going to create a blank layer. And then we're going to fill it with 50% gray. That's how we dodge and burn. All right, so we got it filled. We're going to go down and we're going to go blend mode linear light. So now you can't see it, but it allows you to dodge and burn it. The things I want to dodge and burn on this photo, I just want to kind of darken some spots up here. And this is kind of user preference, how you want this to look, but I'm just going to kind of create a little bit of a shadow here, so it looks like the car's real. So I'm just kind of creating a ground shadow. And then I want to go in as well, and I want to darken up these tires so they look a little bit more realistic, because they're very, very plastic looking right now. If you're wondering what the extremely weird music is, I'm running Epidemic Sound tonight, not Artlist.io. I'm running Epidemic Sound. Check them out if you're looking for music for your vlog, your instructional videos, anything like that. Epidemic Sound is awesome. It is a monthly subscription fee, but it is definitely very worth it. Alright. Alright, so the next thing that I want to do, and I did it on the video or the picture that I posted the other day, is I want to tint these windows. And that is super simple to do, and I'm going to show you how I did it. So I create a new blank layer. I'm going to take my brush, I'm going to hit D to reset everything, and then I'm going to make sure my foreground is black. And if you want to know, you can jump back and forth on your foreground and background by hitting the X button. That will switch you back and forth. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, this is going to kind of probably make everybody mad, but I am literally just going to paint. We're going to go here, because we're going to tint this window. And we're going to tint the front window too, because it's not that noticeable. I did paint black in the snow, didn't I? That's okay. I'll get rid of it. I would have cleaned it up anyway. I would have noticed it. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a layer mask. I'm going to bring the opacity down on this a little bit. And then I'm going to paint black where I don't want anything shown, and white where I do. So now we're going to come in here a little deeper. And hardness, I'm going to bump the hardness up a little bit, but I'm going to keep the flow down. So now I'm just going to kind of get rid of it where I don't want it. So you just kind of go around and mask it off where you don't want it. You could, like I said on the last video when I was doing this masking, is you can take your time and do it. I would suggest taking your time, but because I'm teaching and I'm trying to do these in an hour-ish, I don't really take my time. I kind of just blow through it. And I do suggest picking your finger up every now and then when you're clicking. That way, if you mess up, you don't have to completely redo everything. We got some tinted windows now. We have masked those windows, and I did turn the opacity up, because if not, it would look like this. Or I turned the opacity down, I should say. It's just easier to do it with masking, because say I messed up and I went like this. I should say, Josh asked the question, I don't know, but could you have used the pen tool and invert it to erase? Yeah, but the mask is so much easier, because as you can see, I just went through this. As long as I turn the white back on, then my mask comes back, and I could just redo it. So you can do it with the pen tool, just the mask feature allows you a little bit more wiggle room for mess-ups. And it's kind of like the industry standard way of doing it too. Alright, so I got these windows tinted. I could go like 5% with them, but I'm going to go down, because I still want to be able to see the stuff that's in the car. I just don't want it to look like weird fake plastic. Alright, now the next step is going to be bringing in our mountains, and I have two different mountains. For these purposes, I found them right off Google, stole them right off Google, because I'm not selling this and I'm not trying to. I just wanted to have something to show you guys. I would suggest buying something off Shutterstock or off Etsy or something like that, and buying, you know, assets for using. But for this purpose, I just grabbed a couple. And we can try a couple different ones here. This one actually might work pretty well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it in. I'm going to drop it right in. As you can see, it clearly doesn't fit. So we're going to drop the opacity down a little bit. And when I shot this, I should mention that I did shoot this with some of that snow in the background visible above the car, and I kind of made sure it was a jagged area when I shot. That I did plan that. That way it was easier to mask this into that. So remember that when you're looking for something to shoot, that you do want a jagged area, or you want to think about what you're going to mask in there prior to shooting. That way it just makes it that easier to blend them in. So turn the opacity down. I'm going to put a layer mask on here, and we're going to start getting rid of some of this stuff. Now once you got some of it gone, then you can turn your opacity back up. That way you can see exactly what you got going on here. Like I missed all of this. Alright. That's a very quick mask, but you can get to the point and see what I'm doing here. The next thing is, though, is the fact that you can tell that this is laid on here. It clearly doesn't match. It doesn't match the color. It doesn't match the bokeh in the background. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to work on that bokeh. When you have the layer, not the mask, but you want this actually layer selected, you're going to want to go up and go Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. And we don't want it that much, but you want to just kind of try to match what's going on. I'd say that's about right on the blur. But you can see the color still doesn't match. So what we need to do is we need to create another adjustment layer and try to get that color to match just a little bit. So I open up the adjustments palette or panel, and I'm going to hit hue saturation. And I don't want this to affect everything, so I'm going to click this, and what that does is it attaches it to whatever layer is directly below it. So if that's, yeah, like Josh said, don't be shy, say hi, let me know where you are, where you're watching from. But yeah, so what you want to do is you want to tick this button right here, and that connects it, it links it to whatever the lower layer directly below it is. And we're just going to bring down the saturation a little bit. As you can see, it's already matching it. And all I did was bring it from here to here. And that is all she wrote on that. All right, so now that we got that set, the next thing we're going to want to do is I need to get rid of this grass right here because the grass doesn't make any sense. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to kind of just use the clone stamp tool, but I need to create a new merge layer. So what you do is you hit Control-Alt-Shift-E. Make sure you are on the top layer of whatever is in your layers palette. And so what that does is that creates a merge layer of everything that you've done before. So now you're at a stopping point where anything that you've done up to here can be reversible, but from here on out is a new plan, a new section. So everything that you've done so far can be edited, but what you're adding now, you can't edit. If you start adding stuff now, you can't edit what's behind that without needing to redo what you're about to do. All right, so I'm going to use the clone stamp tool, and since this is pretty blurry, I'm able to just grab some of it and kind of get rid of it. And then I want to get rid of... Oh, let me take my hardness down, that's why. All right, there we go. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. What's going on, Geoff? I haven't drank beer in, it's been 6.5 months now. All right, so there we go. It looks a little awkward, I understand that, but we will cover up some of that awkwardness. So the next step we're going to need to do is we're going to need to bring in our snow layer. Just picked up a 55-inch 1080 TV for 80 bucks. Wow, awesome. So I have a asset here, which is snow. It is just white snow on a black layer like this. The good thing about this, though, is that I can bring this in and I can change my layer mode and get rid of all of that black. You won't see any of it, and that's the way to go. I started drinking beer and you aren't. That's funny. So our asset's in there. It's a little pixelated. Yes, that's okay. And we are just going to drop it in as a screen. Whoops. Screen or lighten will work. Screen is a little bit better. Now we have snow in our image. I'm going to turn the opacity down a little bit on this. And then I'm going to kind of just place it where I want it. And because of that, you can see this line down here is a little awkward. So we will just rasterize this, and then we'll just erase it. Because we're actually going to take this, we're going to Control or Command J, we're going to duplicate it, and we're going to bring it down, and we're going to do it again. So then we want to take it, and we want to erase whatever's up there on this. And I will turn the flow down a little bit on this one, so we can keep some of that. But what rasterize does is, so the layer was a smart layer, I would have to go in and edit it in its own layer. With this being just an asset, you can just rasterize it, and then that allows you to change it directly on this image instead of needing to open it in its own image to edit it, which you could have did it smart, and you probably should when you're editing this for a client or something like that. It just allows it a little bit more safety. But with this being just something for fun, it's not really mattering. All right, so we got snow in there. We got the background in. And the next step we want to do is we want to take it and we want to add some color adjustments on here. What is this blue over here? Is that the mountains? I don't know what we got coming in blue over there. That's all right. Alright, so we want to make sure we're on our top layer on the layer palette. Adjustment panel again, and we're going to add a color lookup. So what that does is that's going to add a color filter basically over the image, and then that's where you want to start playing with what the look looks like. I will dodge it. I already did dodge it. I added some. Oh, you mean this area? Yeah, I could totally dodge that, but I don't think it's going to matter as much once I put the lookups on it. But if so, then I'll have to. As you can see, I did add more lookups on here. I did buy the Glenduis Lookup Pack Volume 2, which is on Glenduis's website, and these things are amazing. And I can't wait to start using these on portraits because they're awesome. But what you want to do is you want to layer lookups to create that look that you're going for. So as you can see, this whole thing went really blue, crisp winter look, but I want to drop this down. And what that's going to do is it's just going to give the entire photo its own feel. We're going to add another one. We're going to go down and we're going to add in, is it this one? Yep, night from day. And then we're going to bring the opacity. So you could probably stop right there. It already matches in and everything. What I want to do now is I want to take, and I want to, whoops, not a lookup. I want to add a gradient filter, gradient map. Make sure it is the third one in, which is black to white. And then what this is going to do is it's going to create it, or make it black and white, but as you drop the opacity down, that's going to bring color back in. So as you can see, it brought the color back in. The one thing that I did on the photo that I showed you earlier that I'm not going to do on here is I'm going to put the snow around the bottom. I didn't really like that look. I think it looks a lot crisper like this, so I'm not going to do that. But we do need to add the final touch, and that's some headlights. We need to add working headlights on here, and there are many different ways to do this, but this is how I do it. I'm not saying it's the right way, but this is how I create my headlight look. I know there's other ways, but this is what I do. So we're going to create a new layer. And I will be dropping this down under the color lookups, but I like to do it last. That way I can get it set where I want it. So we're going to create a white, soft brush, no hardness. And we are literally just going to click the dot a couple times. Yes, that's too big. I understand that. But what we want to do is once we did that, then we want to take it and we want to shrink it down. So I have one. I'm going to create another one. And then I'm going to create a third one for this back headlight that you can kind of see. So I'm going to actually poke that one out a little bit further. And then I'm going to drop the opacity down on that one. Alright, so these ones, they're glowing, but they don't look the way I want them to. So here's the trick that I do that I know you guys are going to freak out about, or you guys are going to be like, oh, there's so many better ways to do this. This is how I do it. It's the quick way. You can find assets for star shines or bling or light shines or light bling or whatever you want to call it. This is the way that I do it. And I take a font. It's called Grotesque or Grotesque. Found it on defont.com. And I actually just make an X. I'm going to bring that size down. You don't want to bring it all the way down because you want to blur it first and then bring it down. So I just make an X. This font is really cool. I'm going to put it over here. And now here's where I get the star shine. And what I do is I'm going to rasterize this, which means it's no longer a smart layer. No longer means I can edit the font. That X is an X no matter what. Now I'm going to take it and I'm going to blur, Gaussian blur. And I'm going to go until it's almost an X, but it's just not quite. So as you can see, and now I'm going to take it and I'm going to resize it. to put it there. I'm going to turn it. And then I'm going to take the opacity down on it. Then I'm going to take another one. Command J. And I'm going to do another one. And I'm going to turn the opacity down even more on that one. So now that you got your headlights blinging a little bit, what you want to do is you want to take them, you want to make all of those one layer by hitting Control or Command E. That layer that combines everything. So now everything is one. And the next thing I want to do is I want to add a little bit of color to these just because they look awkward at that color. So I could do the hue saturation here on the adjustment layer, but because I'm going to be taking this down a little bit into the palette lower, I'm going to just hit Control or Command U, bring that up. I'm going to colorize it. I'm going to bring it over to like a blue. I'm going to bring the saturation up, and I'm going to bring the darkness down. Because it's white, you have to bring the darkness down. And then we're just going to kind of play with it until we get it to the blue that we want it. Alright, so now clearly you can tell that it's the wrong color blue, but once we drop it down here, it's going to blend in right with that color lookup that we added on it. So there's our photo. If I wanted to add a tail light, I could add a little bit of red exactly the way I did this one. I'm not going to do it because of the way that this is sitting. I don't quite think you would see too much of that tail light being on, especially if it's smoked tail lights, which if you have your windows tinted, your tail lights are probably smoked too. I know that's probably just generalizing, but you know. So this is a photo. I'm going to save it, and we're going to take it back over to Lightroom and do the final touches on it and see what it looks like when it's done. So just for comparison, I'm going to show you the before and after. This is what we're working with. Whoops. That's supposed to go there. This is your before and after. I did crop it and turn this photo. So, but this is your before and your after of the photo. Now let's just do our finishing touches here. And what I want to do is I want to create a radial filter. Bring this up, just like I do on portraits. I want to bring the darkness down. I'll bring a clarity. Done. I'm going to add a gradient filter down here just to kind of get rid of some of this. And then we're going to play with the tone curve a little bit and just make it a little flat. So that is the photo. So that's going to be how you do that photo from start to finish. Let me bring that up again. Let me see if I can turn this one just to kind of get it squared away a little bit more so you can see it here. So there you go. That is the photo, start to finish, looking just like that. I mean, I'd have to say it's pretty awesome for doing it in about a half hour, getting that done. Actually, I think this one looks a little bit better than the one I posted online the other day. I'm kind of more of a fan of this one. I was working on another one. This is the other one that I was working on. And I didn't get quite as far on that one, but this is the other angle that I was working on, which is another cool version of the photo. I can't wait to get out and do some more of these when it gets nice out. It was kind of hard because I didn't know what to do with, you know, creating the snow and stuff like that. But I think it turned out pretty well. But yeah, that's a done photo. You can write your signature on it and send it out. That's kind of how she wrote them. So you guys have any questions, please make sure you leave them down in the comments below when this video goes live. Not live, rebroadcasted. But that's going to be it. This was a short video tonight. It was easy. It was fun. I'm going to bring this up full screen again. That way we can kind of leave on that note. But this was an easy one. It was fun. Just something I do for fun and to kind of keep my skills sharp and stuff like that. So hope you guys liked it. If you did, please remember to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, hit that bell notification, all of that good stuff. And remember that I'm doing these videos every Monday night at usually 7 p.m. Like I said, I started a little late tonight, had a meeting. But these are usually at 7 p.m. every Monday night. If you guys have a picture that you've seen on my Instagram that you would like me to explain or show you how I've done it, or if you have a style of photo you would like me to try, please let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to give some of that a try. Other than that, we're just going to keep working on showing you guys portrait editing, wedding editing, stuff like that. But yeah, that's going to be my time. I will talk to you guys later. Thank you again for watching. I really appreciate it. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.